They're racing. He was about third or fourth out, Ka Ying Rising, but Zach is going to speed through the centre and he's in front. Bottom up together's now taken over to lead Ka Ying Rising, who sits 3/4 to his outside. Bottom up together, 3/4 over Ka Ying Rising. They've cleared out the reins, shaken at the world's best sprinter, and Ka Ying Rising, he put 2 lengths on bottom up together. It's Ka Ying Rising well clear. It's an easy trek to base camp. Now to climb Everest, Ka Ying Rising.
Welcome to the Triple Trio, your weekly look at all things Hong Kong racing, and what a week it was with Ka Ying Rising back and doing what he does best. James Tzaferis warming the seat for Jason Richardson, but a couple of our favourites back again, including this man, Clint Hutchison. Hutchie, good to be with you again.
Good to be with you, JT, and thanks for stepping in. We've got one Group 1 performer out in Richo. I think he's on holiday somewhere. We'll probably hear from him later, but good to have you back on set as well. And yeah, what a week it was. Ka Ying did what we wanted it to do in winning convincingly and in time. Where we're going to delve into that a little bit more into the show.
He left me with 2 instructions. It was basically, don't let Hutchie get a big head and keep this man, Raymond Shane Dye, on a tight leash. Shane, how are you, mate? Good to be with you again.
Well, it's good we've added beauty, handsomeness to the show. Yes. We got rid of the one that was holding Clint and me back, and we've got you, James. So welcome to the show. No, what an unbelievable win last week by Ka Ying Rising. He ran the time. He did it easy. We knew he could do that. He did it, and he's going to be extremely hard to beat in the Everest. Mind you, they're not going to beat him. He's just going to win.
Bold declaration there, Hutch.
I love it with Shane. He's always bold. He backs his judgment. It's great to hear Shane as bullish as ever, and he's always been a big fan. So, like I said, we'll look at the numbers a bit later, but it was good to see him back.
That's what, I think a lot of racing fans, not just Hong Kong racing fans, but everyone sort of hoped to see from him heading towards an Everest.
Definitely, because the pressure's on and it'll be how he travels all the rest of it, but I can't see any reason why he won't get there well. And yeah, Hazy's got plenty to look forward to.
We've got plenty to look forward to on the show tonight. We talk about star power. Well, you started with a bang last week. Zach Purton was the special guest, and hasn't he started the season where he left off?
Well, Perfect Pete should have won at the end of last season. I was unlucky on him twice, so I need to make amends there.
Smart Beauty next from Leather Master, Family Fortune and Mr. Aladdin. But at the 200 metre mark, Perfect Peach sent for home. He's 3 in front of Family Fortune. Mr. Aladdin, 100 metres to go. Perfect Peach still in front of Family Fortune. Mr. Aladdin, it's still Perfect Peach. What a start for Michael Chang. Zach's 1 for 1 for the season.
This is what he can do, and now he's up in grade, down in weight. Lightly raced horse.
There's heaps of room for infinite resolve. Bold General joins in, and then came Akash Varney. Bold General is the leader though, 200 metres to run. He's put 3 lengths on Wonder Star and Akash Varney, and then came Jumbo Treasure, and Rising from Ashes running on, but Purton's going to pick up 5 winners on the first day, and there's still a race to go.
I love to see, Shane, the fact that he picked up really where he left off last season, in terms of, I think he ended with a 5-timer on the last day, but, he's obviously kept himself in shape, and you pointed that out, and he was ready to go.
Yeah, big time he rode well. I always thought he would break the record last year if he hadn't have got hurt. Maybe he might do it this year. But he's definitely started very well, so it's good to see he's back and he just dominates.
Richo doesn't make too many mistakes, Hutch, but one thing that we mentioned on the show last week was the Trainers' Premiership from last year, and we just had a slight error that we wanted to correct, so we're going to flash that up. But this is the state of play from last season, and well, the Premiership's already underway this season.
In fairness to Richo, it was we're winding him up. It was just a little production mistake, but that was the end result of the season. So I think we might have had Casper found out anyway. The brother-in-law is back in.
Plenty to look forward to on the show. We've got star power. We're finding plenty of winners from a big card at Sha Tin on Sunday. We're going to learn a little bit more about one of the newcomers to the riding ranks in Hong Kong in David Probert, and obviously the Idol. Keen to see what Shane made of the first week of
the action. We've had a little change
in
in the system with the Idol too. We've got a 3-2-1, a sort of Scobie sort of set up there, and Shane's got the votes sorted out, so I'm interested to see what he's got going on there.
Still the most coveted award in Hong Kong racing?
But, it's as I said last week, it's a bit like the Pink Panther. We've lost it. We're not sure. Someone might have stolen it. We've got to locate it. It's that valuable that we can't find it.
Boys, I thought this show was about stating facts and figures, not talking shit.
We can do a bit of both, Shane. We can do a bit of both. What we will do, and what hasn't changed this season, is Hutchie's ability to find winners. And that's what we're going to do as we dive into Sundays for Hong Kong racing. All right, we'll focus our energies on the back end of this card. We'll start with race number 7, Hutch. And I listened into that Zach Purton chat. There was a horse that he mentioned last week that goes around as one of the horses to beat.
Yeah, 1 for 1, Lightness of Music. It looks a really nice prospect, Lightness of Music. So I think he'll start pretty short, particularly on the back of Zach giving him a bit of a push as well. And Zach's had a bit to do with the all-out as well. And wow, the stable are going pretty well. Jamie Richards at the moment. Alfonso is, ended last season in good form. He's also got some good straight course form, as does Fast Responder. So it's a good race. Shane, Lightness of Music. This was a really nice debut. He was well backed. He ran some of the best sections of the day. And in behind the runner-up, Amazing Galaxy and Ka Ying Resilience, both came out of this race at the end of last season to prove the form was strong.
I think he ran 55.81, so when they're running 55s, it's outstanding. And it was a very strong win. He's only got 120 pounds this week. He's got no weight. He trialled all right the other day. He's going to be very hard to beat, Clint, but he's going to be very short.
Yeah, it was interesting, some of the comments, I think, in the local paper, James, that Chris So, the trainer, was a little bit concerned the 1,000 might be sharp enough, but he's run good time. He's a horse that might have a bit of a future, particularly as they step up in trip.
Yeah, well, class can carry them a long way, albeit he might be better over 1,200 and further. Yeah, imagine he's going to be pretty hard to beat. Of the others, who does look his main dangers?
Yeah, look, I think it's a very competitive race. The all-out was a Griffin who did a good job. I've got him marked sort of second favourite at the moment. I think he definitely deserves a fair bit of respect. And this is a good race. Alfonso is sort of knocking on the door for a win. Shane, he's in those greenish colours, and I suppose if he runs to this sort of form, and his work leading in's been pretty sound, he shouldn't be far away.
Yeah, well, he's had 3 out of his last 4 starts. He's placed second, so he's always there. He trialled good the other day in China. He ran time up there in a 1,000-metre trial. So he's going to be there somewhere, and he's probably going to be the right odds. This horse, of course, won 2 Griffin races, and then he got lost at Happy Valley, didn't know where he was. He's come back well. Now he's a bit older.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Because they took him to the Valley. He's a young horse, inexperienced. It was all a bit much. But down the straight, he's been very good, Shane.
Yep, he has. You can't knock him. And he did run 55.84, I think, in one of his wins, and a 56. So he's run time. Alfonso, it hasn't ran the time, but has been very consistent.
Yep, that is true.
Shane, are you with the favourite as well for Zach? And you seeing from HUTCHI'S hymn book here?
Oh, he'll probably win, but I'm going to go the 7 Alfonso on top. I think he'll be value. He's a good each way bet in it. To knock the favourite off, Lightness of Music. And Metro Power, he went really good first up last season, up the straight, and his trial the other day was very good. He actually probably trialled better than the favourite in the same trial, but it was on the dirt.
All right, Lightness of Music, one of the horses to beat there in race number 7. We turn our attention to race number 9. What are you doing here?
Well, this is about as open as it gets. Honestly, this is a sort of $6 or $7 the field market for me. I won't put the markets up, but I can tell you it's very open. Gummy Gummy's had a stable change, of course, now with Michael Chang, trial well, good dirt horse. Packing Bold can win. Solid Chalar's got good dirt form. Masked Rider's got Zach on board and has solid form. And you can make a case for another 4 or 5 others. So I think there's legitimately about 10 winning chances in this race, or probably 8 anyway, Shane. But, you know, this horse, Mojave Desert, he was solid. He's got a very good turn of foot. He does get back. So he's going to need a track where he can run on. But a lot of this will just depend on how the all-weather's playing on the day.
Well, one thing you're correct about, it's a really hard race and there's lots of chances. And, of course, the track is going to affect the race, whether they can come from backwards and on-pace dirt, and we won't know that until the racing. But he won really well, this horse. He went to another level once Mark Newman got him, and he's racing well. He's up in weight because he had such a big season. But, Clint, anything could win this. There's just anything. It's a very open race.
I think the Gummy Gummy I had on top, he's sort of at the weights. Gets his chance. He's trialled well, and I think he deserves to be there. But, you know, on an even track, he'll certainly go very close. And I think he's gone well for the new stable. Packing Bowl's trialled well. Mr. Energy and Mojave's a chance. This is a look at Packing Bowl from last season. Now, if we do get a dry fast track, and Shane, you've mentioned some of these tracks that have been pretty quick times, like he might get out and get rolling and prove hard to reel in.
Well, he's got the girl on, so she takes 10 pounds off, and I think he's only got 121 pounds now. So he will give us sight. He trialled good the other day, but most of these horses have all trialled well, Clint.
They have. An interesting one that hasn't been on the surface yet, and we might find out a little bit later about the thoughts on it, but it's Harold Wynn. And how did you think he'd performed? He's very consistent, Shane. He's an on-pace type runner, but they're trying the surface, and he's one that we could probably put a question mark next to, but how did you think Harold Wynn could go on it?
Well, his form is in Class 4, of course. I think this is a pretty strong Class 3 race. He's got no weight on his back. Gate 7, he could be running midfield to forward. I'm going to go for Gummy Gummy. I thought he trialled extremely well the other day. And last start, when he ran second up on the dirt there, he missed the start and he was dug up to be in behind, and it was a really good run. So I've got him on top. I'll put in Dragon Air Force, who from gate 1 should get a good run, and Mr. Energera, number 10. But Clint, you could have 5 picks and get this wrong.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of chances in it, JT.
All right, so race number 9 is very tough. What about race number 10? Does it get any easier?
It gets easier, There's less chances in this one, JT, that is for sure.
There's not many in this race, Clint.
No, I've got only a handful, but an interesting race. Master of All will land on pace. I think there's a map advantage for that horse. I've got him favoured at 380. Snowfield, we'll talk a bit about this galloper, back down in grade, very interesting. Joy of Spring ended last campaign in great form. Is the 1400's a good spot first up, but is it too short for him? I'm not sure. And of course, there's Endeared as well, which we'll chat about. This was Master of All at the end of last season, Shane. The big advantage for him, he's going to bounce out, put himself there, and a lot of the dangers and the horses with the right form may not map as well as him.
No, they're going to get back, Clint. You're 100% right. There's not much pace in this race. He could get a very soft run, and he runs the 1,400 metres out. He raced well all last season. He went to another level, actually, last season. He never went bad. I think he's got a great chance.
Yeah, and it's got a 2-0 record versus head-to-head, that is, versus Endeared, who looks a genuine contender in the race, and I've certainly got him in the market. But from gate 11 with Andre on board, I had to push him out a little bit in my market at this point, just from where he'd land, notwithstanding he's got a very good chance. But there's a lot of horses in this race, James, that can't win. One of them that can is Joy of Spring. Shane, 1,400 first up, is it too sharp for him at this level, or do you think he can win?
Being on the fresh side, it may not be. He went extremely well at China in a 1,200 metre trial. He's got a very good gate too. He might race a little bit closer because of the pace. I can't see them going fast. He really went to another level late in the season, but he was, as you said, racing 1,800. I think he's got a chance and can win.
Yeah, his trial was really good too, Jimmy, so I'm sure he can run well. This is an interesting runner.
Yeah, so speaking of trials, this is, as you say, an interesting runner in Snowfield.
Well, the key with this horse, Shane, he ran in that a very high rating race last year where he was unplaced, but they broke 1 minute 20 for 1,400. Like, it was early in his prep. He only had a few starts. He showed something. He was in good races, and now they're sort of fresh up and they're back down in class. Bowman booked for a good stable. Like, I think he might be a very interesting runner and good enough to win this.
Well, he's had 2 things. He's had throat surgery in the off-season, and once upon a time, horses didn't come back from it, but now they do. They just come back from it, most do. And he was also gelded, which could help him. He's had 3 unplaced runs in Class 2. He drops to Class 3. He's definitely got a chance. I've got Master. I think there's only 4 chances. Master of All, I think, will get the right run from Joy of Spring and Endeared, and of course Snowfield. And outside of that, I can't see anything being there, Clint.
No, I tend to agree, Shane. I think it's a little thinner, but the penultimate race certainly isn't the case.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a look at 3 of the races from Sha Tin on Sunday. For all the winners, jump online, get involved with HUTCHI'S Honkers. Time for a quick break. On the other side, we turn our attention to Star Power, and it was a huge week for Team Hong Kong, heading to Korea and getting the job done. Well, the theme of this week's Star Power is Jerry Chau. What a week the young jockey has had, Hutch. We were keen to get him on the triple trio, just with the trials at Chung Fa. We just had a few technical difficulties, but we can still sort of heap praise on him and talk about the week that he's had.
We'll still pump his tyres a little bit, won't we? And he deserves a big amount of plaudits, really, with what they've achieved in Hong Kong in general, actually, including from a training point of view. But no, he went over to Korea and to ride a couple of horses in Hong Kong, which really, Shane, look, they weren't given much of a chance. Self-Improvement won it, I think it was $21. And it was, he gave this horse a great ride, and it was a shock, but a great result for Hong Kong.
Yeah, well, he put him out of the kickback because I've never ridden there, but the sand's very heavy and it comes back and you can't see a thing, I'm told. So it's difficult. You can't get behind horses, and he did the right thing and he showed a lot of strength there. And the second horse is a pretty good sprinter, I'm told, Clint. So he did everything perfect, but just not on that horse. The other horse also.
Yeah, and this week, actually, we're getting a view what you're saying, Shane, about staying out of the kickback before we talk about Chan Chang Glory. But, you know, staying wide on these kind of deep surfaces is paramount significance. But just to put it into perspective for those in Australia that are watching, like this is a Class 3 horse, so it's, you know, it's middle of the road type of horse in Hong Kong, and they've gone to Korea, and there were some Japanese entries in there with group form. This horse has gone and won a Group 3, and I think Shane now is eligible potentially to go to the States and enter in a couple of races as well on their feature days. So it's been a big effort.
Well, he improved when he was in Hong Kong when he raced on the dirt, but of course the Hong Kong dirt is totally different to that. It's a very hard surface, the Hong Kong dirt, whereas that is very soft. And he obviously just loved it and went to another level. And congratulations to Manford.
Yeah.
He's had a great few seasons with Lucky Shui Ness, and then him going there and winning this race. This was a big run, Clint, too, for this horse. And he gave him a great ride too, Chang Glory.
American pedigree with this horse, JT.
Yep.
And a horse that, you know, hasn't really overly competed on the synthetic surface in Hong Kong. But nonetheless, he's been well credentialed on turf, and he's got a very high rating, and he's a classy horse. And he was remarkably brave here. And the 1800 probably just sees him out, Shane, and I'd imagine it'd see him out on that surface as well. But he's another one that you think, well, where do they go now? I mean, can they look at Dubai, or do they look at Japan? And here's another shot. I love these shots as well with the GoPro. You feel like you're right there.
Yeah.
Does this bring back some memories, Shane? You're right in the thick of it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a quick story. I was the first jockey to ever use them, right? The video. And they wouldn't allow me to do it. Channel 9 put a camera on my helmet, and the Australian Racing Club wouldn't allow me to have it and said, no, it's dangerous. And we tried like anything, Channel 9 and myself, to broadcast races with me wearing one. So that was back in the 90s. So haven't we come a long way? And how far behind is racing to see what benefit it can have by showing? It's an amazing scene.
Yeah, I love those shots. We see them from all over. I saw Hugh Bowman when he won the Shergar Cup race sitting in behind down the street. I love it. It's just something special.
Yeah, it's huge. What does success like this mean for Jerry coming back to Hong Kong now? I imagine you know, confidence is a big thing.
Well, look, he was a very well credentialed apprentice. He broke Matthew Chadwick's record, and I think it shows that he can get it done. And he had an interrupted season last season, so I think it bodes well for his season. And looking forward to this weekend in terms of, look, he hasn't got a fantastic book of rides, but a couple of them that could run well. Winning Machine, Shane seemed to trial all right, and Harold Wynn is pretty consistent as well. The other two are going to struggle.
Yeah, well, Winning Machine had 3 unplaced runs. Here he is in the trial. He actually trialled pretty good this day. He had 3 unplaced runs last year, but they weren't bad. All his runs were okay, and he's come back a second season. And as you know, Clint, horses can improve. His trial was good. It's not an overly strong race, and there's only 11 runners, so he's not without a chance. Gate 6, he might race a little bit closer than he normally did last season. He's not the worst. But I've seen Jerry have a better book of rides than what he's got on the weekend.
Yeah, well, I know we've had issues getting him today, but we hope we can chat to him in the not too distant future, because just to further I'll answer your question there, I think he's a bright young prospect who's definitely got a very good future.
And another one of these jockeys that sort of, you know, cut their teeth in my neck of the woods in South Australia, paves the way for them to go to Hong Kong and hopefully have success.
Yeah, absolutely. So we wish him very well.
Yeah, there you go, Jerry Chau. A huge result for him over in Korea. Huge result for Hong Kong as well. So great to hopefully get him on in the coming weeks. Time now to turn our attention to HUTCHI'S form files. All right, time to review a huge opening week of racing in Hong Kong for the season with HUTCHI'S form files. Of course, Ka Ying Rising stole all the headlines. We're going to talk about him shortly. But Hutch, we might start with the sweet in defeat file and take a look at some horses that didn't find their way into the winner's stall, but might in the coming weeks.
Yeah, well, it's all about finding those future winners, JT. So we've got three, two from Sunday and one from Wednesday. Now, the first one we'll take a look at, Victory Champion from Sunday, and he's a horse that will be highlighted here. You'll see him in the middle of the draw, and there he is. He steps a little bit slowly and actually becomes detached from the field by a couple of lengths. The pace of the race wasn't that strong. His work leading in hadn't been that great either. But he really showed here that there's some serious ability to deal with it. He might be a race day horse because he clicks onto the back of the field and he's still last at the 400. He's still last at the 300. You can see him starting to angle out at this point. And his final 200 metres was some of the best closing sectionals at the whole meeting. So he was absolutely brilliant, Victory Champion. And I thought there was a lot of merit to that performance, given that there wasn't market expectation with him. And obviously his sectionals were fantastic. So he's a horse that could really go on with it. We'll get a bit of a line with, I suppose, Groovy Feeling this weekend. So he's definitely one to follow. So we've got him down as one. And obviously Master Champion, I think from Wednesday, was also very good indeed. So there's a couple of horses that are well worth following, including Victory Champion. So Akash Vani is the other one. Akash Vani comes through a high rating race. And Shane, I thought Akash Vani's run was good. They ran some very good time in that contest. And he's a horse that had shown a little bit last season. His trials have been pretty good leading in as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt he'll be hard to beat when he goes around next time. First horse you mentioned, Clint, Victory Champion. I was very surprised by him. His trials and track work, as you said, he had done nothing. I think he was about 90 to 1 as it was. So it was an unbelievable run. And when he gets to 1400, that's going to help him too.
As you said, Hutch, he might be a race day horse. A horse that we definitely know is a race day horse. He's one that we want to talk about. No surprises for what the top-rated performance was for the week.
No, it was no surprise at all. But I wanted to show sort of the numbers-wise and the breakdown, and we'll get to that in a moment. But I effectively had him running about a length and, half a length better than what he did last year when winning the same race. So similar conditions, and he's carried top weight again. But Ka Ying Rising, he's back. Shane, he's back as well as he was last season. They've talked about his strength, and he may be stronger than what he was last year. So it's interesting because he's put up a better number early in the season. It's off his peak, but it's the right starting point.
It really was. He come back heavier this year too, Clint, so he's going to improve. Look, I don't care what anyone says. If he produces his best in Australia and they produce their best in Australia, he will win every time. He's just better than them, Clint.
Yeah, and it's a bit to play out, but look, he's in quarantine now, James, as well, so, you know, it's really getting close. He's going to trial, of course, I think at Randwick or Rose Hill, leading in, so you'll get a look around.
The latest Longines World's Best Racehorse rankings released this week. Still not number one. Are we going to maybe hopefully see him elevated after he bolts in the Everest?
Yeah, I think he's, look, it's always a good discussion point, I think, those international ratings, aren't they? But the figures that he's putting up, I mean, Shane, he's constantly breaking 1.8, and we've had a pretty good body of work in Hong Kong to work off, and you know when they're special, but he's consistently putting up these very, very smart performances.
I think the other day they ran 21.33, I could be wrong, mid-race, which is very, very fast. And he just quickened at the 400 and put 3 lengths on them in 2 strides. Horses don't do that when they're racing on pace in a fast race. They can't. He can. And that's what makes him so good. He keeps himself out of trouble. He quickens, and you cannot beat him. He's a champion.
New addition to the form files, Hutch. Tell me about the laps up race of the week.
This is a Hong Kong term, laps up, which means rubbish.
Okay.
So I was looking for a word like a rubbish race, and I thought I'm going with the Cantonese word for rubbish. Shane would have heard it plenty of times.
As long as I don't
mind calling some of the jockeys laps up from time to time as well, but
as long as I don't get the laps up host of the week next week.
No, you won't. But anyway, there's a race here that did not rate well at all with me, and I just want to give of course, people that are punting a little bit of guidance. I would not be trusting the Perfect Peach race. They didn't run much time. A lot of them didn't rate well. So do you like that one, Shane? My Lups Up race of the week. If there's something that's no good, and you feel free if you want to put something in at any stage, you're more than welcome to join the Lups Up Club.
Well, he didn't win last season, but he was favourite, I think, wasn't he, Clint? Well, he opened up favourite. Whether he started favourite, I can have a look. But He won all right, but he's Class 5, Clint, and it was one of those races. There's actually a very strong Class 5 race this weekend. There's 2 divisions of the 1400. One's as weak as anything, and the other one's really strong. So it's funny when they split races. Some can be strong, some can be weak.
I get the feeling that Shane is going to use this slaps up file at different stages of this season and, and maybe get involved.
He will. He'll get involved. There'll be a bad ride or something. Maybe that'll make that file.
One horse that's definitely not going in the file is Fastnet Rock. Some sad news during the week that the champion sire has passed away, and what an incredible legacy he leaves on the racetrack, but then what he's doing, what he's done in the stallion barn and now as a broodmare sire.
Yeah, and our friends at Group 1 Goldmine are great supporters, of course, and that's it's very sad news, isn't it, for a horse? His influence is quite incredible, and I think there's a bit of a connection there, a very close connection with them and some of the many progeny that they've bought over the time, and so he has left an indelible mark really on the Australian breeding industry. And of course, if you're using that Group 1 Goldmine feature, stallion match, you're empowered. You're going to find plenty of Fastnet Rock throughout all of that.
Well, I went through the form for Sunday. There is a Fastnet Rock runner. There's a few that are out of Fastnet Rock mares. So his legacy is going to continue on the track.
Yeah, he had a lot of good horses in Hong Kong too.
Speaking about legacy, it's time for one of our favourite segments. It's time for The Idol. All right, Shane, over to you. You liked some work from Hugh Bowman during the week. Take us through this performance on
This
Super
was
Sicario.
the best ride by a long way over on the Sunday and the Wednesday night. Now, if you watch the start, this is where a jockey who changes his mind and doesn't exert any energy. So he's definitely going to go back on this horse, Super Sicario, from an outside gate. If we roll it here, you see he grabs hold of it, but doesn't pull him back, but he wants to go back. And he's analysed very quickly. The pace of the race isn't as much as he thought. So he said, hang on a minute, I'm not going to go back, I'm going to go forward. He changes his mind in a split second and probably goes against instructions because he was going to go back, I would say, and goes to the front. This is where he's won the race. One going to the front. Now have a look at the time, 28.11 for the first bit. When they run 28s, they've done no work and they've got there easy. Then he ran a 24-something, which isn't fast, and then he's quickened up and he's got home and won the race. That was the best ride from the Sunday and the Wednesday night by a long way, because it was a jockey who changed his mind and it made him win the race doing it, and he exerted no energy when he did it to get to the front. Very good ride, Clint.
Yeah, and the vast majority of Hughes winners are usually the opposite, aren't they? Settling back in the field and weaving a passage. Like to see that, Shane. I thought it was a good win. And talking of Class 5s that rate well, that race rated pretty well. He might win again, Super Sicario.
Shane, he's no stranger, Hugh Bowman, to votes in the Idol, but you haven't given him top votes this week. Take us through your thoughts.
No, well, Jerry's got to get them. His 2 rides, both of them were outstanding in career. Like, he just put them in the perfect position, didn't try and take a sit, which you can't do on the sand over there, because if you get the kickback, most horses don't go. And I thought for him to go there and ride both those horses like that was just perfect. He deserved 3. Zach got 2 because he had a great day, 5 winners, and he rode a winner or 2 on Wednesday night like he does. And Yui gets 1 for Super Sicario.
All right, from the good to the not so good, anyone that, or any rides that caught your eye from the first 2 meetings that you weren't particularly a fan of?
Not really. I think everyone rode pretty well. The only one that stood out was, I thought, Clint Fast Network should have gone back. He shouldn't have gone forward.
Yeah.
If he had gone back, he might have won. But as soon as he went forward, he couldn't win the race.
Yeah.
With 135 pounds, first up over 1,400, it was just a wrong decision. What did you think?
Yeah, I think, well, the pace was too quick. They went pretty quick. On paper, I thought he might, because it didn't seem like there was much pressure in the race. But in hindsight, they went too quick, and it was a good reason for defeat anyway, that the pace of the race didn't work.
He's a forgive that horse.
Yep, forgive run for sure.
All right, plenty more to come on the Triple Trio. I hope you're enjoying this show thus far. Time for a quick break. On the other side, we're going to take a look back at Ka Ying Rising's performance on Sunday through the eyes of both the Purton and Hayes families.
It's an easy trek to base camp. Now to climb Everest. Ka Ying Rising.
It's race day, the first of the new Hong Kong season and the starting point for Ka Ying Rising's Everest campaign. How's the team feeling about what's ahead?
I'm excited. It's the start of the season. Got a lot to look forward to, and obviously all the intentions on Ka Ying Rising, so I'm looking forward to getting back out there on him.
Is it different to all the other opening days you've had in the past?
Certainly, you don't have a horse of this calibre racing on the opening day generally, but you know, the way the program's mapped out, we need to run, so here we are.
Zach, you're about to trial Ka Ying Rising. What are you hoping to see from him in the trial?
We're just going through the motions, really. It's a day out for him and another step closer to get back to the races. So we're not putting him under any pressure. We'll just let him do as much as he wants to do.
Batch number 1, 1,000 metres. Ka Ying Rising, barrier 1. Gates crash open, they're often trialling, and Ka Ying Rising from stall 1 began fast, and he's put straight onto the speed here by Purton. Ka Ying Rising, bring on next weekend and bring on the Everest. It's Ka Ying Rising, and he wins it, and wins it well 2 1/4.
I thought it was a joy to watch. I love the way his attitude was behind the gates. I love the way he's saddling him up, and then his action just looked so strong and good, and to run 56.3 with that ease, I think we've got him exactly where we want him, so I think we're in for an exciting journey.
So Zach, you did mention that you're concerned about the rain. It's been raining here overnight and this morning. He did win on a wet track last season on the opening day. How is today different?
We've had a little bit more rain this morning than what we did last season. Last season the rain only came just before the race, and it didn't really affect the ground. The ground was still quite firm. We still run 1.9, so the time tells you that it wasn't a wet track, whereas this morning we've had a couple of heavy downpours. Luckily it's cleared up a little bit now, but hopefully the rest of the rain that's scheduled to come today doesn't come until after his race.
He is a bit of an agitated type. Has he settled down?
He has. He's a more mature horse this season, but race day is a different beast and the crowd could buzz him up, so we'll see how he responds to that today.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, because I definitely am, but I'm also really excited and feeling lucky to be part of this journey, because not everybody gets to have an experience like this, being involved with a horse like Ka Ying Rising. So yes, nervous but excited. Zach is the complete opposite to me. He's as cool as a cucumber. It could just be any other race for him. He doesn't really feed into like getting nervous, which is a good thing.
To be associated with a horse of his calibre, you know, not every jockey gets to experience that, and you know, very few do really. And for him to come along at this stage of my career is quite fulfilling to a certain degree. You know, I feel very calm and relaxed. He makes me feel like he's just going to do the job. So, you know, I believe in him, and you know, he continues to get better, which is the scary part.
So Prue, we're a few minutes out before the race. How are you feeling?
Well, the weight of expectation is heavy. I won't deny that. But look, pressure is a privilege. I feel so fortunate to be in this position, to be in the presence of equine excellence, and you know, I just have to get David's suit ready today.
What's he like in the lead up to the race?
I'd say pensive. He's good. We got up this morning, just hiked up a really big mountain, so if he was nervous, we exercised it out of him, and the horse has been perfect. So, you know, his job is done. The horse has walked into the track with no setbacks. Everything's gone according to plan. So now it's in the lap of the gods, isn't it?
They're racing. He was about 3rd or 4th out Ka Ying Rising, but Zach is going to speed through the centre and he's in front. But it's Ka Ying Rising well clear. It's an easy trek to base camp. Now to climb Everest. Ka Ying Rising. Ka Ying Rising, Zach Purton and David Hayes. Ease down.
Firstly, congratulations, David. How's the heart rate?
Yeah, back to normal now, and thankfully it was a pretty smooth race to watch, and Zach did everything right as usual, and we're going to go down to the Everest really happy and confident with an outstanding horse.
So he did everything that you wanted him to today?
Yeah, he did. He absorbed amazing pressure. If you look at the sectional times, they were blockbuster times from the 600 to the 400, and that's what he does. He absorbs pressure so well, and it was a soft win, and I think he probably could have broken the track record in wet conditions. So that's very, very special.
Now, tell me, what's the plan going forward for the Everest between now and then?
Yeah, he's actually, as we speak, going into quarantine, and he'll have 2 weeks in quarantine in Hong Kong. He'll have an easy week next week. Come out of quarantine and then down to Canterbury. I believe it's a fantastic facility, so we're looking forward to getting there. And then I'm coming down with Zach to trial him at Randwick on the 7th, and that'll be probably his final serious bit of work before climbing the mountain.
Oh, great to get that behind-the-scenes access from Nicole. Great kick-off for Ka Ying Rising's campaign, Hutch. They get some nervous energy away and they can put the blinkers on now for the Everest.
The pressure will be building slightly, won't it, day by day? But that trial at Randwick, October 7th.
Yep.
So,
and Zach's going to fly in for that.
He is, and Hazy will be there as well. So there'll be plenty of eyes on that trial.
Yeah, plenty of eyes on Australia as we build up to or into a big spring racing carnival. Feature racing right around the world this week, and it's going to be a huge week for the World Pool.
Oh, the beautiful fresh air. Seattle, Washington, USA, the home of the mighty Huskies, University of Washington. Excited about the Group 1 racing at Flemington on the World Pool. So here in the USA, I can watch the races through TVG and then bet into the commingled World Pool, which is just brilliant. Fascinating contest, isn't it? 1,600 metres, weight for age. Via Sistina, the best horse in Australia, up against the stablemate Aliana. Tom Kitten represents the value, and Tino, the tactics from Blake Shin are going to be interesting. Mr. Brightside, it's an elite field, class from top to bottom. My roughie play will be Tom Kitten. He could spoil them. Hey, loving the show. Love Washington.
Oh, how good from the great man,
Yes.
Richo. What I love the most, Hutch, Richo and I support the same football team, is that he knows he can take holidays in September, unfortunately for us.
Yes, very much over in the States, and it's great that you get to watch Australian Group 1 racing and be able to wager on it with the Royal Pool over in the States as well, and amongst other places around the world. But what a meeting it is this weekend as well at headquarters Flemington. Can't wait.
I want to talk about the World Pool races, but I just want to rewind to last weekend. One of our favourites in Goliath stepped out in Group 1 in Germany and got the cash.
He's just been, I'm glad they got another win with him, because the one thing with the new ownership group, they've been more than happy to travel all around the globe, enter him in these races. I think too often we see horses with good credentials, don't go and compete like a Romantic Warrior or like a Goliath.
Yep.
You're not going to win all the time, but get to see these horses, walk compete all around the globe. He's got that interesting walk, doesn't he? He's a bit of string halt. But, but nonetheless, no, it was great to see him win, and it was a good performance.
We chance to maybe see him back in Hong Kong later in the year?
I would think there'll probably be a good chance of going towards the Vars.
Yep.
Depends, I suppose, if they decide to go back to Japan or not.
All right, time to look ahead to a big weekend of racing, big weekend of World Pool racing, including both in Australia and also Ireland. As Richo touched upon, it is a huge weekend at Flemington, or a huge day at Flemington.
Well, the good thing for him is the hours are going to be quite kind when he'll be watching, the Irish Champion Stakes. Because I know one thing, he will be in front of that TV all day and having a play. So what a feast of racing, and it's one of the big days on the global stage, and the Mackay Divas Stakes Day here at Flemington, and then a couple of days from Ireland with so many quality horses, and it'll have ramifications in international races around the world for the rest of the year, to be honest, and probably the next 12 months.
All right, so time to dive in and preview those 3 World Pool races from Flemington, Hutch, and we'll start with the Hong Kong Jockey Club World Pool. Bobby Lewis down the straight, some quality sprinters, including the defending champion, Arkansas Kid.
Yeah, there is, that he is, and he's been in good form this preparation as well. He's going in third up, proven performer. It's an interesting race. I think the horse that's performed very well down the straight might be a bit of value in this event. JT hasn't done much in a while, but my selection's actually going to be Star Patrol. But here's a look at Arkansas Kid, who is well in the market and has got undeniable claims in the race. He won it by a narrow margin last year. He beat a horse called Skybird, who we saw came out and win a Group 1 race down the straight as well at Flemington. Little bit of cushion would be better for Arkansas Kid. He's not going to get that. But look, he ran really well here. He's very honest, and he's a proven horse down the straight. So he does tick a lot of boxes.
You mentioned Star Patrol. He's another former winner of this race.
Exactly.
He's a very talented horse down that straight track.
He won it 2 years ago. I believe he's Hong Kong owned as well, Star Patrol. So good luck. And I think this horse can win. His jump out or trial here was fantastic. Shane, this is a horse that's got very, very good runs some very good times down the straight. And horses for courses, and he's a horse that performs well. And I hope he can, because I think he's a bit of value.
Well, his action looks really good there. He strode well. He's fresh, of course, and he's won up the straight, as you know, so he's got a good chance.
The verdict, Hutch, you're with Star Patrol?
Yep, we'll run through the selection. So I think Star Patrol looks a good each-way chance in the race. He'd be the way that I'd play. I think we can take a little Quinella with a couple of runners there. I think the 4 and the 11, of course, Arkansas Kid's got to be a chance. What about you, Shane?
I got an 11-4-5. There wasn't much between the 11 and the 4 last start at Caulfield. They both ran about the same. So that's what I've got from Star Patrol. But this isn't my forte, Australian racing anymore, Clint. This is yours.
He was for many years, so I'm not buying it, JT. I'm not buying it.
He rode more Australian winners than you and I combined, Hutch. It's
Exactly,
fair to say.
yeah.
I think he knows his stuff. Let's have a look at one of the other races. It is the Archer for the Stayers, heading towards some nicer races later in the spring. Which of these jump off the page and get you excited?
Well, I'd be interested to hear Shane's thoughts on Revelare, because I've been a fan, a lot of people have, and I loved his win the other day, and I think he just does enough. He's one of those horses, they've been planning to run him here to get him qualified, obviously, in the Cup, and he's got this profile. He's a son of So You Think. He just keeps stepping up and measuring up. They made an early move on him this day. He was very brave late. Mormona was a very good run. And we saw Mormona win prior at Flemington, so that horse has got to be a good chance. But I'm trusting this form, and I know the margin wasn't great then. You could say Mormona could turn the tables, and that might happen. But Revelare's got this winning strike rate that I'm in love with.
Shane, he does have that will to win.
Yeah, he goes from the 2,000 to the 2,500. He was wide early, got in, and then he got out and got going on him. So it was a strong win. And he looks the real deal. His win ratio is outstanding, and he's a nice horse. So I've definitely got him on top, Clint. I've got him on top from the 7, the horse you mentioned, and 2, Post Impressionist.
Yeah, could be a big improver, Post Impressionist, I think, with that run under the belt as well. This race, I think it's a little wider. The horse I'm going to include, I think you back Revelare to win, and you put those other 2 horses we've already mentioned. But Bird Dubai is the horse third up in trip that looks really well placed in this race. What about you, JT? I know you've cast your eye quickly over the form.
I love Revelare. You sort of hit the nail on the head. He's just got that will to win, doesn't put big margins on them, but he finds a way, and I think he will. And you know, book his spot for a couple of those nice staying races later in the spring.
If he does stay, I'd love to see him in a Cup, because he's the right kind of horse. We don't have many locals that can do that, but he certainly looks like one of them.
The feature is the Group 1 Maccabi Diva Stakes. Quality here, albeit a small field.
Lacks pace, who knows? I think you backed J-Mac in to get it right. She's the class horse. She's the best horse in Australia via Sistina, but I'll tell you this. Sectionals-wise, there wasn't much between her and Aliana. They'll both be better over 1,600. I'm going to hear from Shane now, because I'm sticking with Via Sistina, but he'll need to get it right, because it could become quite a tactical affair, and he won't want to be locked away, J-Mac, here in this race. And what were your thoughts, Shane?
This is a tricky race. There's no pace. There's no doubt Mr. Brightside will lead. I don't know about Mark Twain. He's a stayer, but you'd say Mr. Brightside will lead. Now, Blake Sheen's got a habit of taking off on this horse mid-race, as you know. And if he takes off, it's not going to suit Mr. Brightside, the pressure on from the half mile. And that's the worry. So I don't know what Blake will do, but it's an outstanding race. They're all good horses. She looked good this day, treasure of the moment, Clint, didn't she?
Yeah, she's an absolute star, and great to hear that recently she's, recovered from that little bit of colic. So hopefully we'll see her back potentially going to the Cox Plate. But back to the Maccabi Diva, I think it's pretty simple here. I'm going to back her in. I'm going to back J-Mac in. She's the best horse in Australia, and the new kid on the block, very much so, will be Aliana. And I think you just take the exacta. I think it'll be a Waller Quinella and a J-Mac Damian Lane Quinella.
For you, Shane?
I'm going Tom Kidden. I tipped him on the show last year when he was good odds of like 4-1. I think he's got a good chance from Viva Sistina, and they picked themselves, Clint, those horses, I believe.
Yeah, they certainly do. It's going to be a great race, even though it's a smaller field, James.
I've tipped Aliana to knock off Via Sistina. I love these 4-year-old mares. Most of them so far have taken the step, and I think she can do it. I'm just looking forward to the tactical battle. All our top jockeys in this small field, just watching it as a spectacle.
Yeah, no, she could easily do that, and it's just great to see that 4-year-old bunch really improve and step up.
All right, time for another break on the Triple Trio. Nicole Purton doing some more heavy lifting, catching up with David Probert.
David Probert has ridden over 1,000 winners in the UK, including 21 at Group 2 and 3 level around Europe and in the Middle East. It's time to meet the man from Wales. David, Wikipedia tells me that you were born in a Welsh town called Llangoed.
That's correct.
How did I go with the pronunciation? Good?
That's very good.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so we got the first thing out of the way. What attracted you to Hong Kong?
I've always watched the Hong Kong racing. I felt as though it was always something that I was interested in. So when the opportunity was brought to me this year, I just felt as though I'd give it a go. I was at the right point in my career to try something new. And I spent so long in the UK, and a little bit out of my comfort zone at the minute, but I'm getting to grips with things and seeing what it's all about, and exciting to get going.
What are you looking to achieve while you're here? What goals have you set for yourself?
I think just to improve really as a better rider. I think it's going to sharpen me up, and mentally wise, I think it'll improve me. I mean, Hong Kong works in a completely different way as we do back home. So with booking your own rides, and there's a lot of work to be put in, but hopefully I'm rewarded, and I'm not afraid of work anyway.
Has there been anyone in particular who's been quite influential in terms of your career to date?
Growing up, I watched Kieran Fallon riding quite a bit. Obviously, Frankie was league of his own. Also, Ryan Moore was very good, and tell me a few pointers about Hong Kong racing. I'd say one in particular, I'd say probably Kieran Fallon. I like the way he rode. He was very good on and off the horse, and he knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah.
What is your go-to meal when you don't have to watch your weight?
So I like a good steak, maybe a bit of sashimi. Something a bit light. But can't be a good steak.
And do you have a date night movie?
Date night movie? It's probably just something off Netflix.
And you might have a little bit more time on your hands here in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Do you have any other hobbies or interests outside of horse racing?
I like to play a bit of golf in my spare time.
What's your handicap? Most importantly, I'll find out for the boys.
Yeah, they've already chased me down about that. So I'm playing off of 12, but
woo, watch out.
I'm going to have to tell them I'm playing off a lot higher.
Good to learn a little bit more about David. It's a tough market to crack in Hong Kong, but we wish him all the best.
Yeah, we do. So it's good to have some new names on the roster, and jockeys and golf, eh? They love a game. You just can't wager with them. You've got to watch that handicap, James.
It'll be pretty competitive up in Hong Kong. Shane, you think that David can sort of make the jump?
Well, I hope so. It's never easy for an international coming into Hong Kong. You've got to work hard. You need a lot of luck. And once you have a couple of winners, you can get going. But it's not easy. It's just perseverance and working hard.
Yeah, we'll be watching intently to see whether he hit the board with a few winners in the coming weeks. Hutch, some other news points that we wanted to touch upon. It's a very happy welcome back to the winner's stall for Vincent Ho.
Yeah, it was just great to see Vincent back. I mean, he has had a horrid run of injuries, and he had a long time off. He had he went to Switzerland, I think, and did a lot of rehab there, and it was the better part of 12 months, I think, effectively. So he's a fantastic talent. He's a great human, and we're going to chat to him in the coming weeks. So it was just great to see him back in the winners' enclosure. With all that he's been through, Shane, because he's had a couple of really tough falls, and it wasn't looking good at one point. So it's just great to see him back.
He had 3 or 4 serious falls in the space of 6 months or so. Or maybe a bit longer because he's not riding, it's drawn out. But it's not easy. But if you haven't lost your confidence and you come back, he'll be as good as gold. It was good he rode a winner. Casper's going to put him on, he has. and then it'll just go from there. He's got Francis, of course, and everyone likes Vincent. He hasn't got an enemy in the world. He's a lovely person.
Speaking about a likeable horseman, Jamie Richards, he's made a fast start to the season.
Hasn't he? What? He's really jumped out of the blocks very well indeed, and no, good on him, Jamie. I think he's at 4 from 7, and the horses are running, I think, the best, Shane, since Jamie's been there. I think he might have had a change of staff, a couple of key figures there, and maybe even moved stables as well, but nonetheless, he is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, he might have changed things too in a stable because it wasn't working early last season. He really struggled. So it's great to see, and hopefully he can continue now. He's got one in the weekend that looks like winning also. So maybe he can continue the run.
Do we see that a lot, Hutch? Sometimes they can just take a little while to sort of hit the ground and hit their straps.
It does take some. I mean, look, David Hayes himself was having a pretty ordinary sort of couple of years, and then things turned around. So he really sort of rescued it. So it can be done. It's not easy because I think momentum in any sport's tough to wrestle back. But look, hopefully it's a sign of a great season for Jamie because he had a really good first season. It was just a bit of a dip, I thought, last term.
About 3 or 4 years ago, as Clint said, David Hayes lost 33 horses, and he even come out and said it. And what he was doing was not working. They were racing poorly, and that's why he lost them. And look at him now. He is flying. Great season. He turned it round. He changed things. So that can happen in Hong Kong. You don't have to worry about that. And he's a superstar, David.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the best horse in the world as well, and someone that is very popular and loved by many in Hong Kong, or a family that is loved by many, is the Prebbles. And we want to send our thoughts out to Tom and the family because they're going through a pretty tough time, Hutch.
Yeah, they are, and they've released a statement through the VGA today. So, look, fingers crossed, prayers and thoughts with Brett and Marie, Tom's parents. And like you said, there's that Hong Kong connection, and we're not sure of the extent of everything, but we're just thinking of them, and hopefully he's on the quick road to recovery.
Yeah, fingers and toes crossed for a positive outcome or some positive news, and we'll stay abreast of that. Time to turn our attention back to the racing on the weekend and finish with some best bets. All right, time to finish with a bang and find some best bets on Sunday. Hutch, help me out.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to help myself out too, and everyone watching in, so don't worry about that. I think Lightness of Music, he looks to me to be the best of the day. I think he's a horse that'll be hard to beat over the 1,000, and then we can stick with him going forward, so he'll be a tough one to beat. Outside of that, I thought that Max Q looks a very good chance. It's a thin race. I didn't think there were too many chances. Gee, he loads me, this horse. He cost me a bit last year and series of placings, but I think he gets his opportunity, Max Q. So those would be my 2 main plays on the weekend.
What about you, Shane?
I'm going to go race 6, a winner, which won last week, of course, a groovy feeling. I think he can back up and win again. It's not a strong class 4. He's got gate 2, Zach on. He might race that touch closer, and he's going to be very hard to beat in a weak race.
All right, thank you, Shane. Hutch, I reckon we can multi those 3 up and hopefully get a bit of a result.
Yeah, let's hope so. I think it'll be a good weekend. So hopefully we can kick home a few winners, JT. And hey, great job today.
And we're letting Richo stay on holiday. I'll be back next week.
You are back next week.
Beautiful stuff. Another big week coming up. Hong Kong racing. Enjoy the action. Hope you're back a few winners. We'll see you next week on the Triple Trio.